Hi, and welcome to this short instructional video on how to use Webex training, actually running a session. So I've already set up a meeting, which you can watch my previous video to find out how to do that. And given that it's just a few minutes away, I've got a button here, Start Meeting. If I click that, it's going to do exactly as it says. And once it thinks about it for a second, you can see it's loading and connecting. And here I am in my training room. Now, something that I might want to do here is if I click up on starting, I want to call using computer. That way I'm going to use the microphone in my computer. If you didn't have a mic, you can actually call in with a phone. I'm going to call using computer. Excellent, here I am. Now I want to go up to participant here, and I want to click on this button here, mute on entry. That way, whenever any student comes in, their microphone is going to be disabled. Fairly important. Now I'm just waiting for my meeting attendee to arrive. Right on cue. Thank you very much to my husband for guest starring as Webex participant. So here I am in my training session with my attendee. And the first thing that I'm going to want to do is share my desktop with my attendees. So this is going to be handy if I want to demonstrate a topic. So I'm going to go here in Connect and say, okay, everyone, you need to go to content, and maybe Connect's not the best thing to use given how slow it is at the moment, but you need to go to Connect and session 1 and download this document. Okay, when I'm done, I just pop up this menu again and say stop sharing, and it will end it. On the right hand side here, you can see the attendee list, and with the session default, all attendees can see everyone else. So you might want to right click, wants to do it, and say assign privileges, and then make it so that they can't see who else is there. This becomes important when we look at the check for understanding, but it's up to you and how you run your classes, whether or not you want them to be able to see who else is there. So I click OK. Now, if there were more attendees, they would only be able to see themselves there. So on that note, there's some buttons down the bottom here which allow us to poll students for checking for their understanding. So I've just given an instruction, and now I say, okay, everybody, if you are right to go ahead with that, can you use a green tick? Otherwise, give me a red cross. And we can see that Mike has given us the green tick, so he is good to know that. But, oh no, he's now changed that to a cross. So now I know that I need to spend some time touching base with him and figuring out what the problem is. You can see now that he's changed that to a hand, which means he's got a question, and I know that I now need to ask him what that question is. So I can unmute him here. So Mike, what was that question?
Sorry, that was a mistake.
Okay, no worries. And then back to muting him. You can also get them to give you emojis if you want. And the other features, if you go here to this little drop down, you can run a Q&A session. So if you can just leave this going, and students can ask questions, and then you could get to it at a different point in time during your presentation. You could, at the end, come back and look at all the questions that they've given you. So yeah, Mike, why don't you type in a question in the Q&A? So just gives it a second and it should pop up. Oh, that's come up in chat what is the time? And I can say time is 9:22. So the first time he's done that, he's actually sent that to me as a chat message. I've got it set so that students can message me and I can message them in the chat, but they can't message other attendees. The second time it's come up as a Q&A question. So I can also answer here. 9:23. Okay, so the other option that you have here is to run a poll. So if I drop that down, I can click polling and I can give a question here. I can ask for a short answer or multiple choice. Click in new. Question is, can you write an answer here? I also need to add a space for the answer. And then I record individual responses, and then I click open poll. And my participant should now have the ability to answer the poll. While I'm waiting, they will move off of that. It's now saying it's in progress. Once they submit, it's finished. And if everyone's done, I can then close the poll. I can then show the poll results to everyone. I'll open it in a browser. Of course, it's not doing that right now when I said I wanted to. Individual results. Here we go. Yes, I can answer your question, but that has shown everyone's results. So you may not want to do that depending on what you're teaching. I then just click stop sharing again. The final option that you may wish to demonstrate, I've just completely forgotten where to put it. There we go, share whiteboard. This just allows me to demonstrate a concept by writing on the screen. Our school supplied laptops have a pen inbuilt. I can now start writing, or I can use my mouse to write on the screen. Of course, it's not going to work. I've got to click the pen. There we go. Now I can write on the screen. If you're really brave, you can actually allow participants to annotate by going to their name and assigning the privilege of them being allowed to annotate. Here on the document, I click OK. Mike, you can now annotate this document. And you can see that he's doing some dots. Thank you very much. And he's starting to be a bit frisky, so now I don't want him to do that anymore. So I can click off, and there we go. He no longer has access to be able to annotate on this document. Mike, can I get you to go off of the Webex training and go and play some Fortnite or something? You see that a red exclamation mark has come up next to his name, and that tells me that he is not paying attention right now. So I can call out and say, hey, get back to work, or whatever my chosen method is of trying to re-engage him. You'll notice up here, and I didn't click it at the beginning, but there is a recorder button. If you click on that, it will record the session until you end. And then I'm going to give you another demonstration on how you can then retrieve that recording session and then share it on Connect or similar, so that you can make sure it's available for any students that have missed your session. Okay, so we're done with our session now. So I'm going to close my whiteboard. I don't need to save that right now. Do I want to save the current document? Not at all. If I go back into my quick start here, there's a button where I can just end the training session. Do I want to save the session files? So for that poll question and the chats and the Q&A, yep, I'm going to save those. I then click end session. Oh, this has decided it wants to save something on my desktop for me. So that is running a Webex training session. I hope that that's been helpful. Let me know if there's anything further that I can help you with.